Hey everybody, welcome into Warp Factor 10, our show about all things Star Trek here on the Arena Productions. I'm your host Expat along with my co-host Burley. Burley, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Expat?
I'm doing awesome. And I just want to thank all of you new viewers out there to the Arena Productions channel here. Thank you so much for joining. And the last video we did here on Warp Factor 10, our sneak peek video, I want to thank all of you that joined the channel and came and watched it. We really appreciate you, and thank you so much for that.
Thank you all so much. We can't thank you enough.
Yes. So now I want to say, of course, this is our recap of Season 3, Episode 6, The Bounty of Star Trek Picard. So it is a spoiler-filled episode. So for all of you out there, I just want to let you know that we're going to be talking spoilers throughout this episode. So if you have not seen the episode yet, please go to Paramount Plus, watch the episode, and then come back and enjoy our recap of the episode. Because, yeah, there will be spoilers. So I would just want to let you know that it's going to be spoiler-filled. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it, Burley. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the slideshow up for everybody, and we'll just talk. We got Picard here and his son Jack, and obviously, you know, Jack supposedly has the neurological disorder that Picard had, when he was, diagnosed years and years before. And so you see them here in 10 Forward in the holodeck again and, contemplating everything. So, what did you think of that scene? Of course, with Picard and Jack, and Jack now, trying to come face to face with the fact that he's got the same, life-threatening neurological disorder that his dad had, that he basically gave to him hereditarily.
Yeah, I like the scene because I actually like it's got a good moment with Jack. He's like, I could sit here and cry about it, or I can just sit here and just deal with it. And he's like, I'm just going to have a drink and just deal with it and live my life. And it's like, you know what? That's a great attitude to actually kind of have. I actually like that moment.
Yeah. And obviously we get Raffi and Worf. They come on the ship. And they, of course, it's interesting. Right after he transports over, he's like something like 11 years and 5 months and 4 days or something like that. He had everything like down as to how many years and months and days he hasn't seen Picard. But of course they go into the briefing room and they sit there and they're talking and they're trying to come up with like a heist plan. And one of the people in the comments was spot on about, hey, this is going to be like a heist type of episode, and it surely was. But they're planning the heist and everything to go into Daystrom to figure out how to get the manifest and everything. So, what did you think of all of that?
I like that, and I love like when they reunite, and you got the thing with Worf and Dr. Crusher. And you even got the thing with Worf and Riker. And Riker's just stunned with him. He's like, you're the same guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like when they get over there, too, when they get over to the Daystrom, section, and they're going through the corridors there and everything. And what is it, that tribble? It's like the mutated tribble.
A mutated attack tribble.
Yeah. And it's like it startles Worf, and then Riker's giving him crap about it, and Worf is like turning around and saying, you're still that type of person that likes to make fun of people in certain situations. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that was great. And he's like still shocked that Worf is not just getting on him fully.
Yeah. So anyway, they as they drop them off, they go back to meet with good old LaForge, good old Geordi. But they go to of course the Fleet Museum there, and of course Geordi comes on board with his other daughter Alandra. And in this image here, as the slideshow goes on, he's not very happy, obviously.
Oh no, he is not a happy camper.
Yeah, he's basically upset at the fact that he has put Sydney Picard, that is, has put Sydney into grave danger. But then Picard is like trying to tell him, hey, she joined Starfleet. That's, she signed up. So there's risks involved in that and everything. And LaForge is just, it's interesting in this episode how he has become so so stuck on protecting his daughters, and he's not like he was when he was younger to just go out there and be with Picard and the crew and to risk his life and all. He's more protective of himself and of his family and of his two daughters. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was it's a good little character growth kind of thing from where he was in Next Gen to now. And it makes sense. As you grow up, you have kids and they become more important than you and all that.
Yeah.
He's wanting to protect it. And it just shows, like, he tells her several times, and he's like, he will do anything to protect his kids. And it's just a great moment. And and I love the little scenes with both his daughters talking and interacting, because the one he always has with her, she's got to be like within
Alandra.
Alandra, she's got to be within 10 feet of him, kind of thing. And her talking to her sister, and just Sydney, thank you. And their conversations of both the daughters know what their father is like, and both kind of just agree. Alandra's like, I'll try and talk him down. I'll try and ease him and get him where.
Yeah. So let's get back to of course, Daystrom, and then we run into a familiar foe, of course, Professor Moriarty, obviously. And it's cool that we get that flashback to Encounter at Farpoint, when Riker meets Data for the first time, and he whistles and everything. And I mean, it was like Data. It's interesting how Data was in this episode. Well, I'm just gonna call him Data. I mean, he's several different personalities, but I mean, he's basically the AI system that's controlling everything. And he was giving hints here and there, like the Crow, and then obviously here with Moriarty and everything. And Riker was able to figure it out. But did you see, as they're walking through those corridors, Burley, you saw like that little the image of the skeleton, and on the text there it said James T. Kirk, USS Enterprise.
I didn't see the text. I did see the skeleton, but I did miss that. But
it said James T. Kirk, USS Enterprise, and I was like, it's like what is that doing there? Well, it's like, what are they doing? Yeah, but anyway, so he's able to whistle and get Moriarty to disappear, and then they get into the main vault, and there's Data, or another iteration of him now, but now he looks human.
Yeah,
more human than ever. And obviously he's got a mix of Data, he's got a mix of lore, he's got a mix of B4, and everything now. And then you see that image of Sung, and he's talking about the project that he was doing there, but obviously he died before he could finish the project. So but basically they figured out that this Data was basically the core, and it had all the information stored in it. What'd you think of that?
I like that. It was a nice way to, kind of bring Data back, but a little thing, because of this heist they're just trying to find, because they think, hey, the portal weapon was a distraction. They took something even greater. We just don't know what it is. The portal weapon's a distraction. We all focus on that. Yeah, and it's a sleight of hand. So they're trying to. They realize Data here is the manifest of everything that's gone on. Yes. So let's take him and figure out what happened. What they took.
Yeah. And then we go back to the Fleet Museum there, at Metalis Prime, and or Ethan Prime, I should say. And I mean, one of my favorite parts of the episode, all of the different ships. And I mean, we get basically a nod to almost every single Star Trek series and movies in this. I mean, we get the Defiant, of course, for Deep Space Nine. Of course, we get the Enterprise A here, and I like how Jack was saying this is my personal favorite. But I mean, it looks so small. It's weird how the Enterprise A, I mean, it looks so small compared to all the other ships now, compared to like the Titan and everything. Obviously, it's like 100, 120, 130 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then of course we get the HMS Bounty, obviously the Klingon bird of prey from Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. And it was interesting how it's referenced, the whale thing, and that it was at the bottom of San Francisco Bay, and the reason why it took a long time for them to find it was because the cloaking device reactivated. And here's Jack, he's like,
Yeah.
And so then he goes up to the LaForge sisters, obviously, and he's like, what do you think of this kind of like a small, like little, steel type of mission, kind of in a sense, and they're like smiling, and obviously they go and they take that that cloaking device and they basically put it on the Titan, and that's how they're able to get back to Daystrom to try to beam back up Worf and Raffi and Riker. Go ahead, Burley.
I love it. He pretty much just goes up, hey, you want to get back at your dad? Because I know you hate your dad. Let's steal his stuff. She's like, yeah. And I love when they realize because you get the warning and all that. And then I love LaForge just goes straight to Jean-Luc and be like, what did you do, Jean-Luc?
Yeah, and then he's a Geordi, I would never do such a thing. Jack. And then Geordi's like, Sydney. I love that part. Yeah, that was
great. Are you as proud of yours?
But I love the conversation between Sydney and Geordi, like in the ready room there, and like she's like, why won't you help us? And he's still like trying to be the protective father, and she's like, but he's like, let Starfleet handle it. And she's like, but I am Starfleet, and you told me before, in talking about your adventures, that your crew is your family. And this crew is my family and all. And so, that basically made him understand in a sense, what needed to be done. And he had to let her go and to do that. And it was cool. Like he actually shows up there to help with the device. And Geordi's like, to Jack, stay away from my daughter.
I love that because it gives you both sides. It's just like he's just like, God dang it, you're using my own logic and my words against me.
Yeah.
Like you see it, he just still will do anything to try and protect her. Like he's even given her offers. He's like, I've talked with Jean-Luc. You can come join me. You'll be protected. You're safe. You're all good.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say, Burley, I love the part with Captain Shaw. Captain Shaw, talking and just kissing butt to Geordi. It's like, it's such an honor to have you on the ship here. In this image here, and then Geordi starts ripping him and all about, smells like a 21st century situation, ship here, and then he talks about, I would love to geek out with you about all the engineering stuff and all the and this ship and all, but yeah, we're in a predicament. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, we get Data, onto the ship and all, and of course, good old Brent Spiner, amazing, doing the lore, doing the Data, doing the B4 and all and stuff, and they're trying to get access to what, of course, the changelings had stolen, and it turns out that it was Picard's body. I mean, Picard's dead flesh body. So, I mean, what is the significance of that, do you think, Burley? I mean, why did the changelings want the dead flesh version of Picard?
I would say maybe if there's some implants or some memories there from because when he was taken over by the Borg, some knowledge there. That's the only kind of stuff off the top of my head when I saw this that I'm thinking. We're gonna have to wait and see. But one thing I just want to make mention of is when they're about to beam them up, they're getting attacked. Raffi Worf and Riker. Riker sacrifices himself so that the way they can get out and get Data to the ship.
Yeah. And of course Riker is taken prisoner, and obviously it's the Vadic is there, and of course she changes back into herself. And it's weird. She's like, "Hi." It's just that strange personality she's got. But and at the beginning of the episode, of course, she's like telling them, it's like, try to find any person that has any kind of relationship or any kind of correspondence with Picard. And so at the end of the episode there, obviously, Riker's like, you think after 35 years I'm going to actually give you anything on Picard and them? And then as he walks down the corridor, there's Deanna in a cell. So, they were able to pick up Deanna.
They, though? They are a bunch of changelings.
Yeah.
So
she could be a changeling, and to get him to talk. Yeah,
that's something I wouldn't be surprised they try and do. That was my thing. I'm like, I don't know if this for surely is Deanna, because you then got to go out of your way to do this and then travel back. And it's like, we are changelings.
Yeah,
there are changelings aboard, so might as well use that to your advantage.
Yeah,
so this could be interesting in episode 7 to see that play out.
Yeah, and then of course, obviously, what personality is going to be the dominant personality in the new Data? Is it going to be the Data personality? Is it going to be the Lore personality? I think Lore is going to take over a little bit for a while, but I think ultimately it's going to be the Data personality. I'm not sure. We shall see. But yeah, Geordi was really happy to see this new Data. I mean, he's probably just freaking out in excitement over having another Data. But yeah, I mean, it was a great episode, and the next episode is titled Dominion. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, and of course we'll be bringing you some sneak peeks again for the next episode of Star Trek Picard, season 3, episode 7. And of course, want to just let you know that we also have a Patreon. Of course, all of our content on our Patreon goes ad-free. This episode here as well will go ad-free to our Patreon, as well as exclusive content that we have there. So think about coming and supporting us over on Patreon, so we could defeat the Dominion and the Changelings. So anyway, so I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley. So we hope to catch you in the next episode of Star Trek Picard, when we do our, of course, recap of episode 7. And before that, of course, we'll have some sneak peek footage for you, probably early next week. So anyway, until then, take care, everybody, and live long and prosper. Peace out.